News Sports Center.
Well, the league's made changes. New Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson's going to get credit for his 77 games he coached last year, which decreases Pop's overall win total by 32 on his all-time record. Still holds that record, though, with 1390. Knicks brought in a familiar face to Spurs fans. Former assistant Mike Brown going to be the new head coach in New York. And number 1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, signed him with the Lakers.
This is Extra Innings with Pledger.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, sasportstar.com if you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching the show live on YouTube. That's right, we stream all of our shows on YouTube, whether that's the Morning Huddle from 6 to 10, the Blitz from 2 to 6, or right here on Extra Innings. We got you. Go to YouTube, search at SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show as it happens. I love to interact with y'all. Or you could just call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, I appreciate everybody for joining along at any point in time during the show that you may get into it. But let's get into it because we got a short show tonight because we got some U.S. soccer coming up here at 8:15. So one of the big things, look, Spurs haven't been extremely active. Luke Cornett, great addition. I think we've all can universally, as Spurs fans, agree the best move they could have possibly made, better than the DeAndre Ayton signing that the Lakers just made. I understand that Ayton's a former number 1 overall pick, but playing with effort, playing with energy, playing with purpose, doing the things that you need to do. Luke Cornett's going to fit in very well in San Antonio, I believe. But all eyes are focused on Milwaukee right now. And if Giannis Antetokounmpo is actually going to pull the trigger at some point this offseason and ask for a trade, well, Rob and AJ on the Morning Huddle this morning, which you can catch every morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star, wondering if the Bucks have done enough to satiate Giannis Antetokounmpo to this point.
Is there a world where the Milwaukee Bucks can be better than they were last year? Let's start with that.
Well, they had a pretty lousy out. So there is a world where they could win a playoff series. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. They were 48-34 last year. They were the 5 seed.
That's about where, keep in mind the East it ain't hard. So, it ain't that hard to be a 5 seed in the East. So I would say there's no way they can be better. They can be equal.
Okay. Then if they can be equal, is that what Giannis is going to stick around for?
All they got to do is tread water. They just got to get out from underneath and be able to be in a position in a year to go and get whomever, whatever Giannis wants. And they will have the money to do it. But they just got to get Giannis to say, I will stay. Now, the part of the problem will be when you stay, yeah, we'll buy you another star. But guess what? We're kind of saddled with Miles. So you want him, we'll get him. And we got him. So we're going to be saddled with that. We're also going to be saddled for the next 5 years with this little apron Dame Lillard payout that we're going to have to deal with. But if we can just get past this year, and, there's a little bit of trust going both ways, trust the fact that we will get you what is appropriate to go win a championship. And it looks like they said whatever it takes. And he has been the guy that said, okay, Miles, and 2 years from now. That's what it feels like to me.
I can't imagine Giannis believing that that's good enough.
He does already have a ring, and it's kind of like He's the king of Milwaukee. And I think that there is a fair amount of allegiance. He doesn't come from this part of the world. He comes from a different place as far as allegiance and family. And
then why even talk about like?
Well, he is acting like a European prima donna. Do what pleases me, but I think they're doing what pleases him.
If this is what Giannis wants, then this is, he's getting what he deserves.
I mean, they're not terrible. This is not just
they are terrible.
No, they're not terrible. Miles Turner isn't a slap.
And Miles Turner is less of a player than Dame Lillard.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't. Nobody's going to argue that. But I mean, Pat Connaughton, he's a nothing. I mean, he's just an average dude. Bobby Portis, he's been doing it with a lot of average already. I mean, it's not like, and it hasn't been like Dame and he have worked out well. They've made do because they're both great basketball players, but it hasn't been a great pairing. So it was a bit of a work in progress.
They went 48 and 34 on 2 years that Dame was there. Projected starting five for Milwaukee: Miles Turner, Giannis, Kyle Kuzma, Gary Trent, Kevin Porter Jr.
Oof.
That's a bad team.
Brutal. That's brutal.
That is a bad team, dude.
Brutal. But again, they have Giannis. They have a top 5 player, and he alone is worth 25 wins a year. He'll give you by putting on his uniform, he's going to give you 25 wins. Now, if you can get those other 4 or 5 to get you another 15, now we're talking. You know what I mean? So he is still that good.
I don't know if he can possibly think swapping out Miles Turner or swapping out Dame for Miles Turner and handicapping your financials to do so is a positive thing. And that's what's going to make him feel better.
Well, again, I don't think it's about telling him this is what we're going to do for you. It's him saying, or I think he's been a part from the beginning. I don't think anything was done without his knowledge.
Well, it says here, this is it now, according to the New York Post, Giannis is, quote, not pleased.
See, I am not pleased with what I
with Milwaukee's decision.
So if that is in fact true, which
Chris Haynes is saying that. He says he just didn't like how it was handled.
Well, it might be how it's handled, but I can't. And maybe he's saving face with his bro. I mean, he doesn't want to be the one that says, "Yeah, I said goodbye, pay his ass, whatever it takes to get him out the door." So maybe they did one thing and he's saying another. But if this is the case, if they did just go ahead and cut Dave loose and go pay him for 5 years to eat the apron up, go and get Miles Turner, cut another one of the local favorite dudes all from a part of that world in Pat Connaughton, and just dismantle the dudes that have been around. It is. They are now in the realm of Knicks and Clippers at their lowest. I mean, you could not be dumber.
Yeah,
it would be as bad and obvious miscalculation as I've seen in 25 years. I mean, you're running him out of town. You're giving him
what it feels like.
Absolutely no reason to stay. And if you think this is a good thing, you don't deserve a franchise. I mean, if you were the general manager of a fantasy basketball league and they came to you with this,
I would think there was collusion.
Yeah, counter. No, I can't do this because the league would suddenly be out of balance.
Yeah.
So when you see that, don't ever try to make sense of nonsense. That's nonsensical. So what would be the sensible thing, even for the dumbest human you know? That would be do whatever it takes and let him know what we're doing, and at least he might appreciate the try and get his name on a piece of paper before he realizes that next year is going to be terrible. And God forbid we can't go get what we want to get in 2 years because we're trying to draw him into Milwaukee at the end of your long and illustrious run. So, yeah, this doesn't look good unless he played a role. I can't imagine. These are professionals. These are guys that get a salary that would do that.
Yeah, there's to me there if Giannis is out on this, which again,
it's like
Chris Haynes saying he's not happy about it. That's obviously to me says
Homer Simpson runs the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it does. You could not do anything dumber than what.
Oh,
Miles Turner was good.
I thought we were getting Tina Turner.
Oh,
no.
Oh, AJ and Rob, and I think Rob's got a point. Like, you're not getting Miles Turner unless Giannis is probably signed off on it. You're making moves to make him happy. Now, at the end of the offseason, reports are he's going to evaluate what they've done and debate if he can win a title and be in championship contention. But I will say this. The East is more winnable than the West. You could say the team that they have is the exact same as it was, whether it's with Dame or Miles Turner, equal, less than. The East is much more navigatable than the Western Conference. The West is a bloodbath. And so do you stay where you already know you're a guaranteed playoff team, top 6, going to be in and have a chance to advance through the playoffs if health and everything goes right? Or do you go to the tougher conference to a team where the assets you give up are going to lessen that team that already isn't a playoff team? And their highest aspirations by a lot of people are making the play-in as currently constructed. Which is the easier path to a title? And I just look at things from all angles. And if I'm looking at if I'm LeBron, I'm trying to get back to the Eastern Conference. I'm trying to get back over there to where it's an easier path to a championship, to a NBA finals, to where all it takes is 4 wins for me to get a title. Instead of bloodbath after series after bloodbath series to try and get to the finals and hope you've got enough left in the tank to finish it off there. Because you could argue Oklahoma City looked a little tired in those finals, which might be why it went 7 games in the first place. It's just very interesting. And Daniel Batista on our YouTube live says the Spurs are high on their draft picks, and he thinks that's why they're not being active in free agency. I agree with you. I think they're very high on them as well. I think they feel very good about them. And when you hear them talking about them, like Noyes, the head coach of the Summer League team, he's talking about Harper and Bryant, and they seem like the needle is way up on those guys.
Carter's been great. Yeah, both of those two. They got here a few days ago, so you know how it is, rookie. Your head is spinning. They are so excited to be here. So some of it has been having to dial them back a little bit. They've wanted to be in the gym all the time. So we got 2 workers. Our front office doesn't really miss on the person side of things. They are as good of people as you've heard.
And you hear that. And the one consistent thing, because everybody's wondering when could Carter Bryant be ready to contribute? I think there's a chance that he could contribute this year because of his skill set. What he's asked to do versus the team's got the scores. Dylan Harper's going to be a scorer. Wemby's going to be a scorer. You're going to have Keldon and Vassell getting up their shots in that second unit. You've got De'Aaron Fox, who's going to average 15 to 20 points a game. You've got Castle, who already averages about 15 points a game. You've got the points on this squad. They brought in a guy like Luke Cornett. Doesn't need the ball. Doesn't need to be a stopper. He just does his job, sets screens, plays defense, and finds the points that come to him on offensive rebounds and stuff like that. But the more I hear about them talking about Carter Bryant.
Defense. Yeah, he's got to be able to guard, and he'll find his way. We've been clear on his role. We don't expect him to have all the answers, but he needs to set the tone defensively for us.
Defense. Focus on defense. Knock down an open 3. You shoot it damn near 40%. You're open. Let it fly. I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So I only watched a few of his games before we drafted him, but he moves really well. And that is a huge reason why we drafted him. Now, the bonus to that, offensively, he's very skilled. So we believe he can build out over the years, but it starts with being able to defend the other team's best player.
They are sold on his ability to defend at a high level and defend multiple positions. I think that's a path for him to get some minutes, probably in the second unit, probably 15 minutes or so. And it wouldn't shock me to see that. high on their picks. Look how long Keldon and Vassell have been here. I get it. I appreciate all y'all for tuning along. Call in, check on your friends. We got U.S. national team soccer coming up next here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The following is a presentation of Westwood One Sports.
In association